I can show me the Chrome tab. Okay, so yeah, share some. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. I can see my screen. Okay, so I welcome everybody once more. I hope you guys had a wonderful day. And so we'll go into this. So the topic is leveraging on big data for personal and career growth. Permit me to cut the word big out of the whole scenario and use the word data. Leveraging on data for personal and career growth. But I'll look at more on personal growth. So I'll do a quick revision of what has been said before. So basically, what's data? Big data. What's big data? Big data is a large volume of data in form of statistics, facts, information that is collected for the purpose of analysis, and those analysis is done to make decisions at the end of the day. So the reason or the whole idea is that we fish out for information that is already available to us. I hope I'm not too fast. We seek out for data that is already available to us and leverage on that data to build or to make decisions that are tactical, that are strategic. So why do I need, or why is big data important? Now, I want to paint a scenario in your head. Imagine if you go to a hospital, and you tell the doctor that, doctor, I have not really been feeling too well. I've been feeling feverish. And the doctor instantly tells you to sit down and he administers drugs to you. So let's assume he just wakes up and says, I think you have typhoid. So he starts giving you, or he prescribed typhoid drugs for you. And you start taking typhoid drugs. And after like 4 or 5 days, you're not still better. And doctor says, oh, okay, it's not typhoid. Let's treat malaria. And he gives you malaria drugs. And you take malaria drugs for like 4 or 5 days. And you're still the same, and he says, okay, maybe it's not malaria. Let's treat let's say something else. Let's say different disease altogether. Let's say it's COVID. Let's say it's something else. Now, in the period of that, in the time frame where they are doing these trials and trial and error, you possibly may have lost your life. So whatever it is that is haunting or that is disturbing or that is the disease that is currently pressing or currently affecting you, the ailment. Now, one of the key things why we need data is data helps us make accurate, smart, and more profitable decisions. So the ideal scenario, the ideal thing is when you go to a hospital and you tell the doctor, look, I haven't been able to sleep for about 4 days. I haven't been able to sleep for about 3 days. And I really think I'm not really feeling too well. So what the doctor will do is he'll tell you, okay, fine. We'll do a test for malaria, we'll do a test for typhoid, we'll do a test for this, we'll do a test for that. He asks you a few questions. What is he doing? He's gathering data. He's getting data from you. He wants to know, okay, last night when you were sleeping, did you feel cold? Did you feel hot? How did you eat yourself? How many times did you visit the toilet? How many times did you do this? So what he's doing in that period is he's collating data, and that data is what will be used to make decisions that will now say, okay, fine, he has this ailment or he has this other ailment, and from that information, they can prescribe a drug for you and say, oh, let's give him this particular drug, this chloroquine that will handle this malaria, or this tablet that will handle this Panadol that will handle this ailment. So imagine that without data, decisions will be taken based on trial and error, and we know that when decisions is taken based on trial and error, there will be huge amount of loss. And I believe that as individuals, we don't want to suffer loss. We want to ensure as much as possible, we want to ensure that we minimize loss, we minimize loss massively. So in such a case, we need to pay close attention to data. So that's one of the core reasons. One of the core reasons we need to pay attention to data in this age. Is the fact that data helps you make accurate, smarter, and more profitable decisions. Now, before I even move to the next part of this, a few minutes ago, before I came up live, I was going through my WhatsApp status, and I saw something very striking that Chimene China shared, and it almost blew my mind. I think it's here. Let me check if I will see it. It almost blew my mind when I saw that statistics that he shared. Now, I think it's here. Let me quickly read it so we'll see. So he said that Tesla is just 16 years old. Ford is 117 years old. BMW is 104 years old. Mercedes is 94 years old. Toyota is 82 years old. And Ferrari is 73 years old. And he repeated it again that Tesla is just 16. And yet Tesla is worth more than all these companies individually. Now, why do you think, or how do you think this happens? This is a company that in the 21st century, they have paid close attention to data, and they have leveraged on that data to make certain decisions that put them 10 times ahead of their competition. Yeah. So if you never understood the need for this, data is an important part of our lives. Data is very important. You can't play down on it. It's the core part. So if you're not listening, if you're not paying attention to what's happening to the trends, you may be missing out on certain opportunities as a person. So for you to make smarter decisions, of course, you need to pay attention to data. The next point are, please, I would appreciate if all microphones are switched off for the meantime. You can make your comments in the comment box and I'll reply them. The next point I would look at is how do I actually get this data? You have said a lot about data for the introduction. Data. How do we get data? The first thing I like to lay it down. I know the tech boys came in yesterday and they really pointed out a whole lot of things yesterday when they came in. And I want to sit on our understanding protocols to still point out a few things. I won't be going all technical today, so I'll be laying it a little bit lighter. It's going to be a little bit lighter today. We're going to be looking at the fundamental, the bizarre things. So what do I need to, this data, you'll be talking about data, big data. How do I collect data? So let's assume I sell shoes. So how do I get data? First of all, you search for data in numbers. You search for data. You use your Google, you use there are other tools you can use to, search engines that you can use to pull out information that can be useful to them, to you as an individual. The next thing you also need to do is when you search, you collect. So recently I was supposed to do a research for around the development of smart contracts and also tokens. And I was shocked that the internet was loaded with free white papers for different crypto tokens. I was shocked how many I could get. I myself was amazed because I was gathering as much as I can find, and they are endless. So I believe if you actually put an eye out for certain information on certain things, they are there. You can get them. So I move on quickly since we are still on the intro. Okay, so let me take it back. So what are the benefits of leveraging, or what are the benefits of actually this data? So how can I leverage that? Now that's my next pointer. How can I leverage on data? How can I leverage on data? You've pointed out this is what is needed, this is what is needed. How can I actually leverage on data, and what are the benefits of data? I prefer the second one. What are the benefits of data to me as an individual? So let's break it down quickly. Let's assume you're a small, what we call pops and moms business. Let's assume you're a one-man business, you're a two-man business, you're a three-man business, really small. You're trying to manage yourself, you're trying to manage resources, you're trying to mine resources. How can you leverage, or what are the benefits? What are the things that you can benefit from this data? Now you have searched, now you have collected, now you have analyzed, and you want to go ahead and create a plan. Yeah, so how will it benefit me as a one person, as a three-man organization or a four-man organization? The very first benefit of data to every single individual is maximization of time. We're in a generation where we understand and we know for a fact that time is money. Time is money. Now, if that is a thing in your head, you now need to understand that the more time you save, the more money you save. The more time you save, the more resources you save. So one of the key things that data help you to do is that it helps you to save a huge chunk of time. So imagine the story I shared with you, or the illustration I did in the earlier slides. you walking into a hospital and you have a certain ailment, and the doctor doesn't know what exactly is wrong with you, and he's basically doing test and error, trial and error. So imagine that before he is able to figure it out, imagine what would have happened to you. That is the same case we have for the coronavirus. While they are working on the cure, millions and millions and millions and millions of lives gone. So imagine if they knew what to do. Imagine if they had the data collated already that could provide the information that they need to find the cure. Beloved, lives would have been saved. So one of the key things that data helps you to do that is that it helps you to maximize time. Another illustration is the one that Chimney shared that I shared with us, the issue of Tesla, 16-year-old company that is now more richer than all the big boys who are 60 and 70 years and above. These are the big players in the industry. They have been there for the years. They have been there over time. So what took them 30 years to learn, Tesla learned it in like a year because they played around with data. They paid attention to data. They knew what was happening at the time. They knew where the world was. They knew where the world was going. They were listening to the customers. They were listening to the people. They were constantly asking themselves, what's next? And they created a plan around that data, and they created a strategy around the data that they had already collected. And you have a company that is worth more than what has already been in existence before. So the real question for individuals is really, if you are one who is thinking of saving time and saving resources for yourself, it is important to understand that it is key to pay attention to data. It is key to pay attention to trends. It is key to pay attention to information. One of the key things I see that we do as people, permit me to switch back. So I think I would switch back to sharing the screen. So one of the key things that, as individuals, that really that's a buzz for me, and I think it's really an off for me with us for most young people. One of the key mistakes that most young people make is, in a world where there is so much data, there's so much information, we settle for junk. In a world where there is more than enough information to fuel your business, more than enough information to give you insight to what the customers want, to what the customers need, to what exactly are the desires of the customers, we pay attention to things that are irrelevant. We spend a huge chunk of our time focusing on things that will not give us the kind of value we are looking for. And that has really been counter-effective. It has really been counter-effective to maximizing data that is available to us. So yes, it's important that you want to save time. It's important, it is key to understand that yes, it helps you save time. But for you to actually save time, you have to pay attention to data. Not just which word will I use now? You spend a lot of time on the internet, but there is no productivity in the time you spend on the internet. Really, what do you achieve? What is your take home? What are the things that you can lay your hands on and say, at the end of today, while I spent 6 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours on the internet, these were the things I was able to achieve, or I did achieve. Most times we don't have that. We spend time on Instagram scrolling through wonderful jokes, Lasisi, Eleno, and the rest. I love Lasisi, but man, people, you need to focus, put your eyes on where the market is. Another thing also I'll share with us quickly is, recently we were supposed to do a quick review for marketing plan for the month, and we did a quick survey to know the age range of our demographic, of our ideal consumer. And I was blown away. I was shocked when I found out that the people that we're initially targeting, the age range that we're initially targeting, were not actually the age range that were searching for the keywords that we're going for. Now that's data. Now imagine that we did not know this. We would have spent money on ads the previous month, and the results would have been minimal. So we would have thought that we would not spend enough money. So we would have put in more money, lost time, lost resources, and the results will still be the same. So one of the core benefits of listening, of paying attention to data, is that it helps you as an individual to maximize time. So if you want to maximize time as an individual, it is important to understand that you need to pay attention to data. So the next pointer on my slide is cost reduction. Yes, cost reduction. So I'll read the tip from the last slide. It says, knowing what is knowing what is available and what is obtainable, that's maximizing time now in the market real time. So when you have data, you know what's available in the market, you know what is obtainable in the market real time. There are certain mistakes you cannot make because you know the gaps that are there, you know the loopholes that are there, you know the pain points of your customers, you know where they are having issues, and that is where you can now innovate. That's why you can now create a new product, ideal product that will fit their needs, rather than creating product that is just for you as a person, or creating product that you feel is cool or you feel is good, but actually the customers are saying we don't even give a damn about what you're doing. The real idea is, what exactly is this new feature solving? What problem is that new feature solving for us? So pay attention to that. It's very, very important. It helps you maximize time. So the next point is cost reduction. And don't forget that for small businesses, for 2-man, 3-man, 4-man business, even the mid-scale businesses who are 5, 10, 15, 20 people large, the main thing that you as individual in any part of management, what you're thinking for the company is, how do I help this company cut costs? How do I help this company reduce cost? How do I help myself reduce cost? Now, the tip or the pointer here says, every dollar saved is a dollar earned, but $2 saved is $20 earned. How does this work? It simply means that every time you save money for yourself or for the company, that is money that can be reinvested to give you more money. Now, how does data help you to save money? Now, to make it simple, I will not go out of the previous illustrations I have given. I will still dance around them. Now, remember the first illustration I gave about the doctor and the diagnosis. Now, for a doctor to administer drugs to you, you are paying for those drugs. So imagine if he administered the first drugs to you, the first set of drugs to you based on assumption. You just assumed that you had fever, and he administered drugs for fever to you. You paid money, and it came back that you did not have, or there was no, there was or there's you're not you don't have fever, you had let's say malaria, and he administered typhoid drugs, and he now found out that you don't have typhoid. Now look at this. You have paid money for the malaria drugs first of all. Now you have paid money for the fever drugs first of all. You have paid money for the typhoid drugs second of all. Yet you have not still been cured or been relieved of your ailments, but you have spent money already. So one of the key things that data do for individual and for small businesses is that it helps you reduce cost. That money that would have been spent on trial and error, that money that would have been spent on testing and seeing, you would make decisions that are targeted, that are smart. You're not just making decisions based on what you heard or what you think. You are making decisions based on the numbers you have pulled out from certain analysis that has been done. So I noticed that our company or our competitors had 1 million followers and we have 100,000 followers. So what do? Let's build ours. I noticed that our competitions have 100,000 activities on their website every month. We have 25. We need to move. Our competition have 15,000 activities on their websites, and we have 12,000 activities on our website. What do? We need to increase, we need to grow. You look at the competition, they have, like, let's say they have 10,000 and you have 100,000. You say, man, we are killing these guys. We are in charge of the market now. All we need to do is look ahead of us and not behind us. We need to innovate. We need to come up with something bigger, something better. So at every point in time, you know who you are ahead of, and you know who is ahead of you because you have data. Now, somebody is asking, maybe wondering, if I want to get data for maybe a website, there are 1,001 ways to do it. You can go on Google and search. There is Alexa, is a paid system to collect data for a particular company. There is HypeStart. There are tons and tons of them. There is Google Href. There are tons and tons of them. You put in the URL of these companies, and you see a laid out data of, excuse me, a laid out data of what they are doing weekly, monthly, and even daily in traffic and in user visits and the rest. Now, for you as a person who already have a personal website or a small business website, you can use Google Analytics to know where your customers are coming from, what type of customers. So let's assume that you're a product developer. So now I'm still on cost reduction. We have not left cost reduction. You're a product developer, or you're into product. You're in product department in a company, or in even for you as a person. Let's assume you're creating a product, and you need to know, or you're working and you're a developer or your designer is using a website. You need to know what are the kind of users that you have. Are they mobile users? Are they desktop users? For if I have more mobile users, then I need to make my mobile experience more friendly. I need to make my mobile experience more easy. There need to be ease. There need to be the way these people access this site. There need to be ease. I need to reduce the amount of buttons and the rest. I'm not really good with UI and the rest, but those who are in UI or product dev understand what I'm saying. You need to lay down these things based on, or you're laying down this thing based on the data you have captured, the information you have. You're not just guessing. You're not just doing things based on what you feel. So quickly, I'll move to the next pointer. So it's important to understand that if you actually want to save cost for yourself as a person, or maybe your small business, maybe as any role that you're occupying for a certain company, you want to save cash, you want to save cash for the company, which is important. And I know this is out of it, but let me give this advice. If you're working for a company, small, big, no matter the size, do your best to save cost for that company. It will really help. It will really help everybody. So you need to look at it, look at how you can. So my pointer here says less cost means more profit. So the less money you spend, the more profit you make. Now I'm going to point out this quickly if I move to the next slide. So in the olden days or previous, in way back, when there were only billboards, people would just put their ads on billboards, and there was no way to know if those ads are converting. You could not get data and nothing. But bring it to our generation now, where you have Facebook ads, you can know who clicked, who saw, who did not see the impression and everything. So when the time when data is, if you play down on data and you miss out, it's your own. I blame you. If you fail in this generation where there is so much information available to you, my guys, it's your fault. It's just really your fault. So you want to reduce cost, pay attention to data. My next pointer, I hope I'm still on point. Louis, I hope my time is still
Yeah.
there. Yeah, okay. So if there's any question, please let's quickly drop them in the comment section. I'm still with you guys. I hope I'm not too fast.
No, you're not.
Okay, thank you so much. Any question, let's quickly drop it on the comment box. So the next thing is risk reduction. Now, reduction in risk is equal to increase in profit possibilities. Now, taking a risk is dangerous. We know, but taking a calculated risk gives you the edge. And this is what I feel Tesla has done over the years. They have consistently taken calculated risk, and that has put them above their competitors, that has put them above their peers, that has put them above the people who have been in the industry for years. So the real thing for me is, yes, we know you want to take risks. Yes, we know that risk taking is important. But the real question is, do you just want to take risk, or do you want to take calculated risk? If you're someone who wants to take calculated risks, you want to take risks based on numbers, then it is important to pay attention on data. You can't overlook it. What are the needs? Now, a lot of people just do this, and it's funny. I've seen a lot of people who came up with ideas like, I have this idea, and this idea, there's just this one app that we're going to create, and it's going to do this, and it's going to do that, and it's going to do this. And when I meet these people, the first question I ask them is there a need for this thing in the market? Have you found out if there is somebody who's willing to download this app to their phone with their data? Is there someone who's willing to use this app? Is there someone who's willing to pay you 100 naira first of all, or 500 naira first, or 1,000 naira, or 10,000 naira for this value you're bringing to the market? It's not just having a big idea. It's not just coming up with, there's this one thing I thought of in my dream and I dreamt about it. It's just too, no, man, dude, there needs to be data taken. Is there a need for this? And it's crazy. Do you know that with certain, yes, Uber Suggest, yes. So with Uber Suggest, you can know the number of people who are searching on a particular keyword daily, monthly, yearly, quarterly, annually. With Uber Suggest, you can know who searched for what, where is the traffic coming from, which countries are having this influx. Apart from Uber Suggest, I think Facebook Analytics also does this. The analytics extension dashboard allows you to search for keywords and find out the particular country that has a huger market for this particular product you want to roll out. Now, that will give you an edge. That will position you in a way that when you come into the market, you're not coming to the market like an ignorant man. You're coming into the market understanding the pain point of the people. Now, also, when you have data, when you know the market, when you have researched the market, you know what applies in that particular market. What happens to you is simple. You know who your competition are. You know the technology that they are using. You know what would be the best fit for you to enter the market with. Now, this is what happens. Now, I have a friend who about it's been about 16 months now. He came up with this idea to create a product. Wonderful idea, cool idea, very great idea. I'll not mention the product anyway, but it was a great idea. And he said he was going to code that thing from scratch. Now, for me as a developer, I was cool with it, security and all, everything is covered. But I had an issue with it. One was you're a startup, you're a one-man startup. Coding this thing from scratch, my brother, is not easy. It will take you time and resources. It's not easy. Now, and it's a huge project. Only you want to do all this project, or you have 3 or 2 people who want to work on the project with you. You spend money on this thing consistently. So where would you be pulling out resources from to fund this? So I told him, I said, look, I think the thing you should do is WordPress can deliver what you're looking for. Buy the tools that you need, the theme, maybe the plugins that you need, professional plugins, combine this thing together, launch this product. When you begin to make profit, from that profit, you can now fall back and say, look, I want to build. I have some minutes left. Okay, I've seen that, Louis. Thank you. From that profit and from the proceed, you can now say, I want to build. Louis, allow me. From the profit or from the proceed, you can now say, I want to build something bigger than this. So from that proceed, you can now use that money, that profit that you have made to boost the business. You can now use that money to pay developers. You can now use that money to run ads, and the business begins to grow. Then at a point, if you decide to build that system from scratch, you have the money to do it. It's easy. Or in a scenario where you want to build from scratch, there is no resources, you don't have data on the market, you don't even know where you're going to, you don't even know when you go into the company, into the market, big industries and big companies will crush you in a second. So one of the key things you must understand is before I emerge, before I move into any system, any market, any industry, any career set, I need to know what is happening here. What are the things that are happening here? What happened? And this is it. For you to understand the future, for you to actually know what would happen, you need to know what has happened, what is happening. Then you can now predict what will happen. So you need to know 10, 15, 30 years ago, what happened? 11 years ago, what happened? So a friend of mine asked me a question. Of course, I work with Dantown. Now, a friend of mine asked me a question. He said, Jimmy, down and Bitcoin. This Bitcoin, now that Bitcoin is 9,000 bits, is it a good time to buy? I laughed. I said, in 2009 or 2010, when Bitcoin was less than $1, was it a good time to buy? When Bitcoin was $3,000, was it a good time to buy? When Bitcoin was $4,000, was it a good time to buy? Now it's 9,000 or 9,400. I don't know the current rate, but now it's almost 9,000, between 9,400 to 9,300 or 9,600. And you're asking if this is the best time to buy. Dude, you need to understand that in less than 10 years, it has moved exponentially, more than 10 times growth. So what do you think will happen in 10 years more? And that was it for him. The guy instantly said, Kai, boy, I need to get this thing as soon as possible. Let me know, wake up 10 years from now, find out that Bitcoin is actually worth $30,000 or $40,000. So you need to understand what happened in the past, what's happening now, and what will happen tomorrow. You need to put that information together, scrape the internet, find out 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, where was this product? 3 years ago, 2 years ago, where was this industry? Now the need for developers is massive. Why? Because suddenly everybody is now deciding to go online. That is data. Now, but you need to know which and which niche these people need developers. You can't wake up tomorrow and say you are a Ruby developer, you work on Rubies, and you think that nobody will look at you. They'll be like, go to somewhere in Silicon Valley and look for a job. So you need to pay attention to what's happening at time. I keep telling people, for the Nigerian ecosystem, I know that we're looking at Web 3.0 and AI, and these things are going to be awesome. Data analytics are going to be awesome. But for now, dude, we are not yet there. So one of the key things you can look at is what are the technologies that are in play now? How can I adapt those technologies so that when the future comes, I cannot build and prepare myself? So you're preparing yourself on the side, but in the meantime, what are the things that I can do now that will get me into systems that will be profitable? So I think that's where I would put a pause on on the point 3. So I'll quickly go back to my slide. Share. Okay, so that's why I will talk on the point on risk reduction. So I tell people a lot of times also, I also now look at it and I'm of the opinion that spending a whole lot of time learning things that are irrelevant is out of it. So you need to learn also to understand what is that thing that is now that I can leverage on, and what is supposed going to be 10 years or 20 years from now. So the next and the last point for today is smarter decisions. And this is the whole idea of data. This is the whole idea of data. Smart decisions. Smart. So when a smart era, when something we call the one-click world, a world where we get everything done one click. Big thanks to Google Google Assistant. I love Google Assistant. Funny enough, it's just too awesome. So, but my point is, we're in a world where everything is smart. So the real question is, if you're not smart in a smart generation, what are you? I won't answer that question. It's for you to answer. But if you're not smart in a smart generation, what are you? It's crazy. And what makes you smart? Data. Yeah. So when companies like Glow say data is oxygen, and when a company like Airtel says data is life, man, these guys are not. Do you know what they are saying? Do you know what they are saying? A friend of mine called me during the pandemic, and he was complaining that he needed money for airtime to buy subscription for mobile data. And I told him, I said, guy, I beg you, don't go offline. Do what you have to. Sell your shoe if you have to sell your shoe. Sell your phone. Sorry to say that, but ensure that you're always online. Ensure if you have to beg, if you have to ask somebody, as in, put your ego behind you and just ensure you're always online. You're not online watching comedy videos now, but you're online looking for the trends. You're online looking for the possible markets. You're online looking for opportunities for you, for the business, for the company, for that thing, that career of yours. That's what you're targeting. You're online looking for things that will make it work for you. So it's important to understand that this generation, and this is a smart generation, everything is smart. So if you're making decisions, your decisions need to be smart. And what makes your decisions smart is data. If your decisions are not data driven, they are not smart decisions. They are decisions based on your emotion, they are decisions based on your thoughts, they are decisions based on what you feel. And my brother, your emotions will mess you up. What you feel will mess you up. Sorry, I apologize, but let me say this one. A motivational speaker can just come and tell you that, look, you can fly, you can do anything that comes to your mind, you can make it. My brother, you could just wake up. Go in the middle of the road, a car will crush you. So you need to pay close attention to data so that your decisions will be smarter. So your marketing decisions will be smarter. You are not spending money and time on a product that people will not invest money in. You're not spending money and time on a career that is outdated. A lot of people are still going to school to go and study things like secretarial studies. And I'm like, are you crazy? What is secretarial studies in 2020? Are you mad? What are you spending your, for me to use such words? What are you spending your time doing this kind of stuff for? Like when there's so much information and data available on the internet. If you want to learn programming and front-end development, there is Udemy, there is YouTube, there's a lot of information available. What you need to do is sit behind the system, get this data, put them together, get this information, put them together. Know you can even know the amount of money that people are paid in certain countries to do these jobs, and that's awesome. But you need to know, you can know the amount of opportunities that are available. You can know the need. You can know the places that let's say programming, for example. You can know the programming languages that currently have serious needs, where the demands are higher. And you can say, okay, fine, let me learn this one because the demands are higher. That is data for you. That is data for you. Your decisions become smarter. You're taking a decision, from an angle of someone who knows what he's going to, someone who knows what he's doing, not someone who's assuming, not someone who's just guessing, not someone who's just saying, if it works, if it doesn't work, let's see how it goes. No, no. So your decisions, all decisions you take would be smarter when you're basing your decisions on data. When you're basing on your decisions on data, your decisions would be smarter. So I move on to the last part, which is your action point. I've said a lot of things, but the most important part of everything I said is your action point. When you come to this event, I know a lot of us attend stuff like this. We are always there. This event, you came. The other events, you're there. You're present everywhere. Go home with something. Leave you with this. And I want you, if you have something, you can screenshot this. You can. Okay, I think the slide will be forwarded to your emails as long as you're signed up or you're registered. Will forward the slides to your emails. And this is the action point I want to leave you with. This is something I want to leave you with. Yes, you have heard that data can be important. Data is key for every industry and individual who wants to grow. But this is what you need to do to leverage. Number one, you need to listen. Pay close attention to what the competition, the industry, the market, and the market is saying. Don't turn deaf ears and say it's not my business. After all, they're my competition. So they're buying new car. Must I buy a new car? Okay. Find out why they bought the new car. Find out. Begin to listen. Pay attention to what your customers are saying, to the pain points of people, to the demands of people. What are people saying about you as a person? You as a person. You as Louis Whyte. You as Godwin Jimmy. What are people saying about you? Listen, pay attention, pay close attention. That's data. Pay close attention to it. Pay close attention to it. Collect that data, take that data, use that data to form something. The first action point I want you to take home is pay close attention. Listen. Your competition, listen to them. The people who are your rivals, listen to them. The people who you want to be like and you want to be bigger than, listen to them. Don't say, after all, they're my competition, so I won't hear what they're saying. Dude, that's a misconception. You will lose. Pay attention to them. What else? Learn. Find out how they do what they do, their mode of operation. How are they doing it? He's not just saying, these guys, I'm listening to them now, and last month they made money. You try see profit. To the real question is, sit down and ask yourself, how did they do what they did? I need to learn this. I need to know. I need to know for me. I need to know for my company. I need to know for my personal career growth. I need to know for my personal development. How are these guys doing this thing? How are they making marginal profits? Why? What the market go down? Learn from them, follow them. Think that Tesla learned a lot from the Thomas Edisons. Tesla learned a lot from Ford. Tesla learned a lot from Toyota. Tesla learned a lot from the existing companies. And it was on that information and data that they took from those companies that they were able to build the future. Men have seen Tesla cars. I believe most of you have seen the Tesla truck. Crazy innovation, because they were willing to learn. Don't look at the confusion and say, I can this one, I have to run a confusion. No, pay close attention and learn from them. The last action point. This is like a combo plan. Okay, I've learned this. What do I need to do? Come to your draw your workboard and say, okay, fine. I need to plan. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. For me to get to where these people are now, I'm going to plan. I'm going to get this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to learn this, I'm going to get this, I'm going to employ this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get a team, I'm going to build my own team, I'm going to have my own in-house guys, I'm going to have friends who support me, I'm going to have a company, but you're planning, you're strategizing, you're looking at it to plan. So the next thing you do after planning, you strategize. You strategize, look at it. What whoa, somebody just messaged me. Reach to my face and say this last one, because uncle, if you plan, strategize, 30 years time, you're not doing anything to bring that plan to reality, dude, you're wasting your life. You're wasting God's grace on your life. You're wasting, which one will I use? You're wasting air. You're wasting space. You need to execute. A lot of people plan from Genesis to Revelation, but dude, when it comes time to execute, they are crippled. Please, I beg you, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy who listen to awesome events, come to awesome programs like this, hear stuff, and you just go back and say, wow, how was the event? Oh boy, I just talked something in my head. What did you do with the information? Nothing. What did you do? Nothing. There was no execution. So I beg you, when you collect data, when you get data, plan. The final part is ensure you execute. What have I learned from these guys? Practice. What have I learned from these guys? Practice. What have I learned from these people? Practice. Ensure you practice. Ensure you practice. Pay attention to practicing these things. And that is how you will win from big data. So I thank you guys so much. My time is up. Thank you, Louis, for permitting me to do the few minutes extra that I did. Thank you so much. My time is fast spent and it's up. So I'm going to take a few questions. If there's any, please drop it below. I'm going to take those questions if there's any. So I hand over to Louis. I'm going to hand it over to you now. Thank you so much, man.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Godwin Jimmy. That was awesome. That was really, really awesome. So I hope we all got value. I hope we all got value. I hope we learned a lot about data, leveraging our data for career and academic growth. And he was even talking mostly towards the aspect of business, sourcing, growing your business using data, leveraging on your business through data, expanding your business through data. And one key point he mentioned is he said, this is a smart generation. And if you're not smart, what are you doing? If you're not smart, if you're not making the decisions that are data driven, what are you doing? Times like this, we need to make decisions that are risks that are risks that would actually bring down the risks of what we're supposed to do. Like for us to make decisions that would maximize our business and both ourselves. So if you have any question, please drop it down below on the chat. But if you still want to maybe say it, you can unmute your mic, then drop your questions. I don't know if there's anybody that wants to give or ask questions.
Or contributions also.
Rather.
You're open for contributions too.
Okay. The slides from yesterday and slides from Divine Okon and Stephen would be shared with the courses. Then the video for tomorrow would be shared also on the link will be shared on our Twitter handle. And this program is also, this event is sponsored by Downtown Multi-Services. They are into Bitcoin and Bitcoin trading. So if you want to buy a Bitcoin, you want to trade a Bitcoin, and what you need, the place you need to go to is Downtown Multi-Service. You can check them out on Instagram, on Twitter, on all social media channels, Downtown Multi-Services. Now, and
Go
this is
down. We are Go Downtown on IG.
okay. Go
Go
downtown.
Downtown.
Go
Go
downtown
Downtown on IG.
on IG. Okay. So if you have any questions, like I said, if maybe you have questions later on, you can post it to our Twitter channel. We are always there to reply you and to give you the right link or the right resources. If we can't really deal with your questions or handle it efficiently, I'll actually send you a link or send somebody to assist you. So really thank you, Godwin Jimmy, and also our participants for this wonderful event. Time is fast spent. And everybody that's here, we thank you. Godwin Jimmy, our sponsors, Go Downtown, Downtown Properties, and Downtown Multi Services. We say big thank you to you. So,
Thank you so much. We look forward to your next event.
okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Godwin Jimmy, and everybody. Okay, have a nice day. Have
Thanks,
a
man.
nice evening.
You too,
And
man. Have a nice
yeah,
day, man. Thanks so much.
any questions or anything, we'll just relate it or send it to our Twitter handle. Thank you very much, everybody.
Cool.
Hope you
Cool,
all
man. Thank you so much.
got value. Have a nice day.
Thanks, man.